And this is 18 feet above where the water is pumping it. Or I'm going to try and zoom and see how far it'll go. So it only goes that far. We're going to get pumping now, and you hear it dropping down. Here's the bilge pump that powers it, or that does the water. There's the solar panel, 15 watts. So here we go. 600 gallon per hour supposedly. Over the top. It's just starting to come over the top now. There we go. It's over the top. Now we would expect putting this in to slow the flow even further, so it will be coming over the top more, but actually doesn't. Taking power away speeds up the water going through it, and it drops down, and it'll drop down to below this, I believe. And there's quite a bit of torque on this. Now that's just a bicycle spoke holding it in place. So there you go. I can, if it was a little bigger, I probably wouldn't be able to turn it off. Now with the bicycle spoke, you can raise this off. Now we can put it exactly where we want it in the flow. Now this is not taking as much power because the water's up high again, so it's easier to turn off with just by crimping it, and we can lower this down a bit. This shows a typical south-facing lean-to greenhouse. So it's there's your house and there's your lean-to, and faces south. And I'll just show you what mine looks like. So mine leans up to the north instead of to the south, because I put in these big windows at the front before I even thought of putting on the roof, and they were too high, so that's why it leans back. So it was a silly mistake. And why does it work good? And I'll show you that too. So back to the lean-to greenhouse, and we're going to stick in the northern summer sun. And it starts off up in the northeast, so sorry, north of east, so it's not quite northeast in my location. So the sun starts off shining, and it shines and it shines and it shines, and it's just starting to hit the greenhouse now, and finally it's starting to hit fairly decently. But all this time here it's not hitting it at all, and that's something, I don't know, it's a lot, like it's a lot of light. It's low in the skylight, but it's still there, and it can be direct sunlight in the morning or evening. Sunlight is having difficulty reach this greenhouse because there's an entire house blocking the way. And so I'm just going to click this off now and click my lean away. Now my lean away, the roof is actually it's against a fence. So even if you had a lean-to against a fence, the roof is going to be sloping down this way. You're still going to miss a lot of this northern light. But what happens with mine is it gets through, and as it goes higher, like it goes higher in the sky, it starts to get in and reach the plants. But the first of it that gets through, some of it actually bounces off the front and the sides and hits the plants anyway. Why don't you just have a filter coming in for an inlet and then an outlet on a little floating thing. So this is just the top of a glass container, and the barrel is being filled right now with water, so you can, that's our simulated rainstorm, and the little thing is going up. And the reason I didn't consider this before was because I thought people had tried stuff like this and there was some flaw, maybe you couldn't do it because it used to block up or something like that. But now I'm thinking maybe people haven't bothered to try it. Anyway, so we could have something instead of the top of a pot, you could have something ready-made for this. So the design would be something that will always float, and an inlet here, or sorry, an outlet here, an inlet here. This outlet would be a bit wider, and so this is the speed of the water. This is obviously much. So I just thought I'd show you the lid of the pot. So the lid is obviously in the middle, on the other side of it. That was easy to take out. And the bung. So the bung, I made the hole and I pushed in the bung from the inside. And here's the speed. Well, I just put the pot lid on it, so it's a tiny bit messed up, but here it comes. So there you go, that's how fast the water is going. So probably a tiny bit slower than that because the lid pushes things down. Four screws here. I guess I've got the three. I've got the one in the thing. I didn't get it quite in the right place. It's pretty smooth. I think that's as far as I go. Yeah, here's the end. I'll have to check on my other. I have another piece of board, but I think this is as far as I go with it. So it's smooth enough for a wheelbarrow handle anyway. This is the replacement handle for one. The sand I put in about 10 centimeters, 4 inches on top of limestone granules, which is dolomite lime, magnesium carbonate and calcium carbonate, and that was to neutralize material if I decide to throw some organic material, some rotten vegetation up here or down here in the pool here, because the water recirculates. That's one of the great bonuses of this thing. So it has worked pretty good since I put in the limestone and the sand, and things have grown in here pretty well. So this is your recirculating water. So the water comes down through and picks up, I guess, nutrients and waste as it goes, and just gets recycled around. I've thrown all sorts of stuff in there. You could put in compost tea, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, it's coming along. Currently there's pea plant growing that I think I sowed last March, and it just grew, had its first crop. I transplanted it in here, and it's still alive today, and it's got flowers on it, so I can't imagine it lasting too much longer. Anyway, that's it at the moment. Airlift section has worked great, and it did after a couple of months it did block up, and I thought, how the hell am I going to get this stuff out? But it's easy. You just take it off and whip it. You just, like a whip, and whatever's inside, you know, bacterial, algae, that just it builds up around it over time, comes out really easily. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Long bar in. These don't quite fit this long bar so good, so you might just put them in. The reason for putting in the long bar is because it gives the two bars. This one means there's a more or less flat surface under the wood to lift it.